Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Thatboijerm, your host of the Scattered Thoughts podcast. As you can see, we're doing things a little bit different this season. Season 2, now we got video. Last year, we just had audio, but, I had to upgrade it just a little bit. Right now, I'm in my home. I'm upstairs in my loft. As you can see, this is my little man cave. I got all my heat back here, so I know I can't show you everything, but you might see a couple. You might see the Travis Scotts up at the top. So I mean, we're not gonna get into all of that, okay? Sorry, I know y'all are not used to seeing me on the camera, but I do talk with my hands, so I'm gonna try to take it down just a little bit. For the people who haven't seen me in a long time, and as of lately, I haven't really been active on social media, just because I've just been kind of a little bit private. I've been going through a lot of personal things, some of which I'll share, some I won't, but just getting back to myself, having to, just kind of reset and restart. So that's what kind of just for my active listeners, that explains my nice little break that I had. So we're back, we're active. I got a good season for y'all. I got some great topics, some good guests. Today's guest, you're not even going, man, I know nobody's even going to expect us to have this interview that I have just because of who it is. But I've been trying to make my connection silently and just tap in with people who really make a difference. And like I said, just to go back a little bit for the people who haven't seen me in a minute, you probably noticed these little marks on my arm. Yes, I did get tattoos about 2 weeks ago. One of the personal stories I'll share with you is that about a little over a month ago, my grandfather had passed on my dad's side. And first off, this podcast episode is dedicated to Don Barnett Sr. Love you forever. So apologize with the video. This is a Zoom that I'm recording off of. I ordered my new equipment, so next time it'll be a little bit more HD for y'all, but it's the best I could do right now. So, but I didn't want to hold this interview for a long time, so just bear with me. But right here, you can kind of see. It's a 27 in Roman numerals. What that 27 represents is that when my grandfather had passed, I was 27 years old. He also played, for those who don't know, for the Harlem Globetrotters back in the late 50s, early 60s. His jersey number was 27, both on the Harlem Globetrotters and in high school. On my left forearm, I have it says "Keep the Faith," and so in my grandpa's later years, he would always tell me to keep the faith. Every time I was with him and I'm about to leave, he will always say, keep the faith. So it's these tattoos are not really in mourning. It's more so of just a reminder of how important and influential he was to my life. I learned a lot of lessons from him. He's the reason I love basketball so much. So, without getting too much into it, this is definitely dedicated to him and I love him forever. So I was in California for about almost a month. The process of that was just took a little longer due to COVID and everything. So I was at home, ended up losing my phone. I got this iPhone 6 right here. I know the 12 came out. I'm trying to wait for the Pro Max. It's tough. I got 2.5 more weeks to pre-order. And then I have another week to actually wait to get the phone. But when I get it, it'll be bittersweet. I will be buying the protection of lost and theft because I lost my phone fishing. My first time ever fishing, I lost my phone in the river, but it's materialistic stuff. So it's like, I didn't really, I was upset at the moment, but what could I have done? People say, oh man, I would have jumped in the water. No, that water was dirty as hell. Man, it was high tide. So the stream was just moving. So I can't see if the phone had just fell down, straight down, or if the phone fell like at an angle and was just like floating down. So the water was just too deep. The phone was gone. It was submerged anyway. Hey, it is what it is. But iPhone 12, Pro Max coming for you. So let's get into it. I always come with y'all for the news before I bring out my special guest. The Los Angeles Lakers did win the championship in the bubble back in Orlando a couple weeks ago. LeBron does have his 4th championship ring, which is out of this world. I mean, he's been to the finals 10 times. I don't got to give you his whole story, but, shout out to him for being his 4th MVP finals. Should have been the MVP of the league, but, I'm not going to take that away from him, from Giannis, that is. But I do think there was a little bit of politics involved. And just to get off sidetrack just for a minute, not to get too deep, speaking of politics, everybody, this is an important election year. Today is October 22nd. And November 3rd is election day. I know a lot of states, including Texas and California, have early voting. I think Florida does as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of other states do. I don't have the full list for you guys, but if you haven't voted and are curious to do early voting, if you don't want to wait in the polls, or, you know, you just nervous of something happening on election day, you can do early voting. And, you know, election day is November 3rd. So this is very, very, and I won't stay on this topic long, but this is very, very an important election year, especially if you're of African descent. Our ancestors died for this. So, you know, the least we could do is be able to exercise our right to vote. So, like I said, enough about that. I'm not going to go too much into that. Back to LA. All the LA teams is doing good right now. The Dodgers are in the World Series right now. They're going against Tampa Bay. Series is tied 1-1. I'm going for all LA teams right now. I'm a Bay Area native, Warriors fan, A's fan, Raiders fan, all of that, right? But since none of those teams are in any of those, you know, none of them went to the finals of their sport, I got to rock still with California. So this happens to be LA, which is technically my second home, but, you know, like second or third home. You know, obviously I live here. I'm from Cali, so LA is definitely very close to me. So I'm gonna just rock with them. You can give me the backlash if you want for being, you know, a Bay Area fan, whatever you want to call it, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. So, going into transition over to music, Ty Dolla $ign has an album dropping tomorrow. By the time I hear this podcast, it'll probably be tomorrow or later down the road. But if you haven't listened to Ty Dolla $ign's new album, I would just, you know, do a little solid and go over to your favorite streaming service and download the new album called featuring Ty Dolla $ign. And I know what some of y'all are thinking, how are you speaking so highly of this and you don't even know what it sounds like? Nah, I'm a fan of Ty Dolla $ign and his music is fire. So, and he has so many features. I think there's 26 tracks on there. It's gonna be fire. So do yourself a favor. You're trying to get in your little R&B bag. You need something to listen to on the road, on the flight, whatever, the gym. Play a new Ty Dolla $ign. One more thing before I get into this this interview, which is gonna be amazing, I promise you. Norfolk State University has partnered with, let me get my notes real quick. Norfolk State has partnered with Netflix. And so what Netflix is doing is they are launching a boot camp to increase exposure to the tech industry. So this is actually a boot camp that will count as credits for students. So once they complete that boot camp, they get basically credit, you know, for their degree. And so let me pull this up. The program is divided into 3 tracks, and that's Java engineering, which I'm a computer science major. So Java is something big in the industry, and a lot of companies want you to have Java experience if you're a coder. There's also user interface design, which is basically your website layouts, things of that nature, skeleton pages. You can get into that. If you are a tech major, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, I would definitely recommend doing your research. Excuse me. So the 3rd track is data science. And so experts from Netflix will work with 2U to design each track and all courses to be led by faculty from Norfolk State University and feature guest lectures from the tech industry. And this is what Netflix has said. So Netflix will foot the bill. Remind you, Netflix will foot the bill for students accepted into the program, and they'll get course credit, like I said, completing the boot camp. As they said. So the goal is for participants to come the goal is for participants to come away better equipped with the industry's relevant skills to enter today's workforce with valuable, long-lasting relationships. So with that being said, when you graduate, you don't really have work experience, but having this boot camp, being knowledgeable of the tech industry, coming straight out of college is a crazy boost. I think this is their first year doing this, but I definitely will be tapped in and I will update you guys about how this is going to go later down the road. So that is my news for today. Now, speaking of Norfolk State University, the person that I'm interviewing today just happens to be very influential. I met her at Norfolk State, and I've been kind of following her journey ever since. She is a barber, she is a stylist, and she's just overall just dope as hell, you know. Some of y'all might know who I'm talking about by me just saying those few words. Some of y'all might not. So, with that being said, I'll give y'all a little bit more background. She's been styling for I think about 5 years, but you would by the looks of her work, you would think she was doing this for her whole life. This is how far she is. And when she introduces herself, I want you to just, you know, I'll try to edit on here somewhere of her Instagram name, her handle, and you can check out her work. She is dope. So without further ado, I'm gonna switch it over. We'll transition into the video. You know, if you don't have video, I have the audio for people too. I'm still gonna drop my podcast on all this on Spotify, SoundCloud, and on YouTube. So if you don't have video, feel free to listen. You will be inspired. So I'm gonna turn it over to the interview with Miss Fee. All right, so we have a fellow Spartan here, Fee. First off, I just want to I want you to have you introduce yourself. I don't want to misspeak and represent you wrong. So I like to have people to introduce themselves so people can know who you are.
No, it's cool. I appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
I'm Fee. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. I've been cutting for about 5 years now. Got really interested in barbering at Norfolk State University my freshman year. And at that time, I had a short haircut. And
I remember that with the part.
Yeah, I had a part and I had a wave cut.
Yeah.
So that was like 10 years ago now, 10, 11 years ago.
For sure.
And so, yeah, I got interested in Norfolk State University. Once I had left, I never graduated. It's all good because that brought me to the craft of barbering and to what I love now. And it's been fun. It's been a great journey. So I just continue to cut. And that's what I've been doing for now. And at this point, this cutting now, and like sometimes I'll be teaching as well. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll actually have some questions about teaching that I'll get into a little bit later. But to kind of transition to it, you say you were a barber and that you didn't finish at Norfolk State. So what got you into becoming, I don't want to say a barber because I know you do more than just barbering. So I want to approach you right by saying a grooming specialist. What got you into doing that? You know, going into school and stuff like that. Like, tell me your background on that.
Okay, so freshman year, you know, we was in the towers and things, right?
Yeah.
I was in the towers in 2011. And so at that time, like, it was past visitation hours. So I went over to the boys' dormitory, the south, the other dorm of the boys, snuck up the stairs, ran up the stairs of a group of boys. I just kind of like walked in between them to make it have my hood on and everything. I run all the way to the 8th floor, right? And I meet this guy named Cliff. I don't know if you ever met Cliff at school.
I don't think so.
It's actually a portrait of him. They made maybe in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he was cutting, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was cutting to school, and so it was just I was really intrigued about what he was doing. And so at that point, I had a short haircut. So I'm just watching him cut. So my turn comes up for a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Yo, you should cut my hair after I cut your hair." I was like, "Bro, I've never cut hair before in my life. What makes you think I can cut hair?"
Yeah.
I was like, so he finally talks me into cutting the hair, right?
Yeah.
Cutting his hair. He walks me through it. And I remember exactly what I used. I used an old 76ers. Them the real loud joints, the back.
Yeah.
And it was a 1.5 against the grain.
Against the grain.
Right.
He ain't had no waves, I'm imagining.
Right. So he told me to do that. And so it turned out okay. And I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah.
Something I picked up. And then when I was in Norfolk, I just got into a lot of things I didn't even get into. I got distracted.
Yeah.
And so what got me back on my feet and everything, I got into barbering. So once I figured I got into barber school. I went to barber school for 11 months. And from late 2014 on to 2015. So I graduated around November of 2015. And so that's when I got into a barber shop that was doing elite services.
Oh, okay.
Lucky to get with a guy, a barber, real known barber named Todd Bernard out of New York, Mount Vernon, New York. I Cut Pro. I don't know if you heard his brand before.
I haven't.
Yeah, he's pretty great, you know, being in the industry. So he was down in DC at that time, and I was around a lot of talent, man. So I went from going from barber school where I'm cutting $5 haircuts, right?
Yeah, fact.
To trying to cut $45 haircuts.
Sheesh.
So at that time, it's a big jump, right? So imagine, I lost like 99.9% of my clients that I had, right?
Yeah.
But I saw myself, okay, you around people, around an environment, it's going to cause you to grow nothing but up and, you know, take off to your next career. You know, you have to fill in those shoes that even though they might be too big for you at that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I took that big leap, but I saw the room for growth. I saw the investment. And that's why I did it. I was like, okay, it's gonna have to cut up to that standard. I'm gonna, if I want to eat, or if I want to have the things I want to have, or live a certain lifestyle, or, you know, have the freedom that I want to have, I have to adjust and adapt. So some places force you to grow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I saw early on. So what I did was I continued to go around to different cities, different workshops, different advanced seminars to build on the knowledge that you can always have, because, you know, that's the type of industry that forever never stops growing.
Most definitely. So
you always gonna learn something, you know?
Yeah.
So when you learn more, you're able to charge more, you're able to teach more, you're able to offer more to your clients and everything like that.
Would you say from when you had that moment in the towers, did you see at that moment that was like kind of like a passion that you enjoyed, or was it still, did you kind of go away from it for a little bit and then come back and be like, nah, actually?
I did.
Yeah.
That's real, because, you know what, everything, sometimes we hit burnout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where you find yourself, you're working, when you're first starting out, whatever you're trying to do or pursue, you're working crazy hours, maybe like 7 days a week, or cutting like, you know, trying to cut 20 heads in one day, or you're trying to just work all day without eating the proper foods, without giving the proper breaks that your body needs.
Yep.
And it starts to show in your work, that fatigue, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that fatigue kicks in, your health goes crazy. You don't even want to do this shit no more, because now it becomes work, you know?
Exactly. And I asked you that question because I cut hair on the side. I've been doing it since I was a freshman in high school. Yeah, but I was really interested to talk to you because, like, I enjoy it, but I don't know if I would do it to where it's every day, to where it's actually my job, because like you said, it wears on your body. You standing up all day. You got your friends that, you know, I never worked in a shop. I used to cut in my mom's garage. And then, you know, when I was in school, I used to cut in the dorms, whatever. But I never really thought about it like, you know, people hitting you up in the middle of the night, or, you know what I'm saying, just odd times. I know you being a shop owner, I'm pretty sure people, I don't know how strict you are, but I'm sure people try to still hit you up to, you know.
It's at the point where they have that respect for me to not even do it, because we implement things like appointment apps.
Yeah.
And I have a phone app with myself on ShesTheBarber app where they can go book their appointment or buy products like that. So when it comes to a long message, just send them the link. At that point, there's a point where it's a matter of respect that, okay, you probably shouldn't hit her up. That's not the type of clientele that I have.
Right.
My clients are paying $100+ a haircut. So there's a certain type of people they're going to have a certain amount of respect. If you charging $20 a haircut, that's a certain type of people. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a certain crowd, whereas they're dealing with a different crowd that's respecting your time. And because they know they start at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm done around 1:30 in the afternoon. Okay. I'm dealing with a certain crowd. When you deal with a certain crowd, there's a certain level of respect they're going to have for your time, because they respect their time as well, you know?
Right, yeah.
Implement these things.
So how did that feel? I know you said you started off in barber school doing 5, and then you jumped to 45, and then now you at 100 plus. So how does that feel? Like, I know you obviously know your work, and your clients do too. That's why they still coming to you. But do you still have that feeling like, yo, I'm really getting paid this much for a haircut? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna come back in 2 weeks, or maybe even sooner. You might have weekly people. Like, does it do something for you where it's like it really still motivates you to do it outside of just like a paycheck?
It does, because with this week alone, I've done 4 people getting ready for a wedding.
Oh wow.
Like that. Those are pretty cool, you know? Or it might be like a kid's first day of school,
Mm-hmm.
or it might be someone's engagement party or a birthday. You're somehow a part of their big moment, you know? And even sometimes part of the saddest moments.
Yeah.
And as barbers, we're also like therapists and life coaches at the same time.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoy that time of just talking to people, you know?
Yeah, I think what I enjoy most about it is just the transition. Like, somebody can come to you like, man, I appreciate you, I needed this, and then once you're done with them, they like, yo, like, oh, I'm back in the game, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean that does a thing for me, because you made somebody just feel some you made them feel different from something that you just can do naturally, and you have an eye for it. You know what I mean? So
right, they would have had like probably a bad day when they got a cut. Like, it makes you want to step out or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And
so that's the fun part, the joy you get from it.
For sure. And so I wanted to ask you, because I don't know a lot of women barbers, but don't get me wrong, I've like just seen on Instagram, I do know some, and you are very exceptional in what you do, because I see you doing stuff that other like grown men that's been in the industry for 20 years that can't cut like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really look at like the precision and everything. So I just wanted to ask, as far as the being a woman in a more so, I don't want to say a male dominated industry, because I don't know how much it's changed, but have you faced with any type of adversity being a female barber?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel that with any type of male dominated industry, we're going to have to work a little bit harder. So what I do is just like, let the hands do the talking.
Yeah.
Let the work speak for itself. Like, at this point, it's like, that's what I try to live by, and let people know. Like, I don't talk, I don't chit chat. They might say something, but it's like, okay, it's okay. It's like, people are gonna not always like your work, and that's the thing about it. People gonna love your work, and some people gonna hate your work. But It's that your brand, you're not for everybody. Your brand is not for everyone to like.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do is produce consistency, and to grow even better than the last cut we disclosed or whatever. And that's the fun part about it, is it's displaying your art. It's like a portfolio, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun. Collection of growth. Because I don't delete my haircuts. I like that stuff is like 5 years of like haircuts.
Nah, yeah. And then I'm gonna jump the question down a little bit. I've seen you cut Dick Gregory. I've seen you cut Common. So how was that? How did those, talk about those? I mean, I don't know if you've cut more celebrities, but just in those two, how did you come across getting that opportunity, and how was that?
Actually, Dick Gregory hasn't had a cut in over 40-something years. He was actually walking by the shop.
That's crazy.
And I told him to come in. He was like, for sure. Like, so he came in, sat down, chit-chatted for a little bit. He was like, this is really cool. Like, and actually, I think his birthday was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe his birthday was yesterday. He was 88, I think.
Wow.
So it was kind of cool that we had a legend that, you know what I'm saying, that was, to be in there, a comedian, you know what I'm saying? So his son is from DC, in this area. So his home is actually in this area.
Oh, okay.
Common, I was riding to work one day, and my cousin contacted me. It was like, hey, what you doing? I said, I'm headed to work. She said, yo, Common needs a cut right now. Like, his barber got the car towed with the clippers in it, and he need a cut like right now within an hour. Wow. Crazy, right? So my shop at that time was in Southwest DC.
Uh-huh.
He was staying at one of the hotels. What hotel was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was staying at a hotel maybe about 2 blocks from the shop.
Wow.
I got over there quick. So I just grabbed my toolbox, packed my tools up real quick, and headed to the hotel he was at. And so yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just to meet, those are two, I would say, like legendary people in our culture, you know?
Yeah,
So,
100%. Yeah, Common had came to Norfolk State. I
I
don't know if that
remember.
was, yeah, I think that was 2013 and 2014. And I was I had caught the email where they were like, you know, tickets to meet Common after his after his keynote. So I got to talk
Yeah,
to him for a little bit. Yeah, he's a real like humble, down to earth dude. Like he's real cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember seeing that on your Instagram like when it first happened. I'm like, yo, that's so dope. Like I was really living through you for that moment. I was like, that's what's up.
Thank you.
And so you've been barbering, is it safe to say, over close to 10 years, right? From when you first started, even longer than that, right?
I wouldn't even say. I didn't start cut. I touched them. That was the first time I've touched them, and I didn't touch them again until 2014.
So as far as professionalism,
2011.
so yeah, so we can say 5+ years of professionalism,
About
right?
5, 6 years, yeah.
All right. So during your journey, what is the best advice that you have gotten, just as far as like just being a barber?
The best advice I could give would be to always remain a student.
Okay.
Don't ever stop thinking you know how to cut and this is how you're going to cut, because you got a lot of old heads out here not implementing these new ideas, and we got a lot of us playing them in their old game, you know what I'm saying? Outdoing them. So it's always remain a student, always become able to learn something new, a new way of doing something, a new way of cutting or applying or trying a new tool, because that's always going to stay. You want to stay with the industry pace.
All right. And so with that being said, how do you, I know you said you attended seminars and stuff like that, but like to this day, like how do you still be like, are you still a student? Like, what do you do? Is it like people you connected with, or I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was repeating what you're saying.
Yeah, I was
So
just saying, yeah, like how are you still a student in the game?
I still screenshot my friends' work. I still ask them what they're doing. Right now with this COVID situation that we're in now, since that's been happening, I've been doing Zoom classes and FaceTime virtual classes with barbers. Even in Nigeria, I did a class in Nigeria. I did a free class with a guy. Just realizing that he couldn't afford it, he was going to afford it. So I was like, why not? So I surprised him. He was able to actually buy tools with the class.
That's what's up.
Pay for it. So I was like really excited for him. So it was like 2:00 a.m. for him, but it was 8 p.m. for me. So he was trying to find a reasonable time. But at 2:00 in the morning for him, it's the best Wi-Fi to use. The strongest from Africa. So that was just pretty cool to be able to talk to him, you know? I was so excited. So things like that helps me become a better a teacher. That's how I'm learning to still be a better educator. I'm a licensed educator in Virginia. Okay. So I would like to start helping more, maybe start licensing people. Okay. I haven't gotten into that yet, but I just been practicing and trying to figure out what's the best program, you know, if I'm going to start doing that.
Okay. Do you have you ever, I'm sure you've seen like the barber shows or showcases where, you know, they have their team come down and then they display their work. Have you ever attended one of those where you showcase your work?
Oh yeah. They have a DMV DC Barber Expo that normally happens around this time of year, around October, November. Okay. But you know, with everything going on, this has gotten canceled. But yeah, there's a lot of shows, like the one in Atlanta, the Bronner Brothers shows that happen twice a year. They have a lot of shows in New York, Cali, and other places, Jersey, you know, Philly, Chicago, a lot of different places where they have showcases, and you're able to see different people, different talent, different tools. So it's definitely fun to network with other barbers too.
Yeah, I want to go back on something you said a little bit as far as like being a student of the game. You were saying that I guess the old heads, they don't want to change their ways. Cause I remember my barber back in high school, like he would do the same thing. Like, don't get me wrong, he was nice. He could do designs and everything, but like, he just, you know, you couldn't tell him nothing. He like, yo, I've been here. Like, you're the young one. You know what I'm saying? So that was something interesting that you said that just kind of, I was just like, damn, that's really a thing. And I think that is some really good advice to tell people, is to just, you know, just continuously to grow and learn, and don't be afraid to be optimistic and learn something new or go out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so I've seen, like I said, I've been following you for the longest time, and I've seen you had a shop in DC. You had recently relocated to Atlanta for a little bit, and now I see you back in Virginia. So what is the process of like getting your own shop, you know, the license for your shop and stuff like that?
Oh man. The shops I've been in have been leased, renting.
Okay.
So I haven't been into ownership yet. But at the moment, that's where I'm preparing myself. Right now I'm keeping it more keeping the overhead low. Learning from my past experiences, like the one I had in Atlanta, which was a great experience for me because I went through a lot of personal growth and a lot of professional growth. The development that I needed to see early on. I'm glad I'm seeing it now in my 20s. So, because like I don't want to wish I didn't move there later on and been like, I wish I could have, should have, would have moved to Atlanta and experienced this stuff. So by going down there, I see the different demographics. I see the different culture. It was a good experience. I wouldn't say bad because, yes, I went through some rough times as far as like figuring out, okay, how to adapt in a new environment as far as business. And I realized that Atlanta is more a product-based area, whereas a northern part of the United States is more of a service-based. So I actually did better. I did better on product sales, online sales, than ever before because they were so drawn to products.
Yeah.
So that's when you learn how to adapt to different environments. Okay, what is this area want? What is the demand for this area? And you got a lot of talent down there. You have a lot of talent. The market is pretty oversaturated, but I wish that a lot of barbers there understood the business aspect, because once we understand the business aspect, we take the hustle out of it and we all level up on the same playing field.
Makes sense.
So a lot of guys here and a lot of people here, men and women, pay good money for haircuts here in the northern DC and Maryland area.
Right.
Whereas down there, there's a lot. There's a margin. It's a different culture out there. So that alone was pretty cool to see, the different things that you need to see in different places. Also networking with a lot of good people and being around a lot of good talent. I soaked in a lot of different skill sets and different skill levels, being around a lot of different barbers from different areas, just being in the same space. So just be able to take that with me and bring it up here also separates myself from what I used to know when I used to live here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, having a shop in Southwest, then relocating in Northeast, going to Atlanta, and now I'm in the Southeast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
By coming back in that rotation, now I know how to be back here, but able to play it a little differently with a different game plan. So I know this time, if I were not to take this way is definitely this the right way, because that way that definitely did not. It was a detour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you're able to bounce back from any type of, you know, shaky things that might be going on, you're able to be more consistent about keep trying again, because a lot of people give up once they done tried something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Once you love something, you're willing to try it again. Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. I know this part. This is what I got to do this time. Okay, cool. It gets better from there. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the overhead low at this point.
No, that's good. You actually answered my next question, which was the pros and cons, but you just you destroyed that in a good way. So I appreciate that. And so recently I see that you had a collaboration with is it For Mass or For Moss Grooming?
For Moss.
Yeah, yeah.
For
So
Moss,
I've seen them.
yeah.
I've seen them on their advertisement of their clippers and stuff. And at first, I thought it was a scam because I don't know if you've ever seen like some clippers show you and they like barely touch the head and the hair just falling off. And I'm like, bro, there's no way for $30 that this is going on. So talk about your collab with them. Like I just want to know, did you have like creative control? How did that collaboration come about? And do we expect anything in the future?
For Moss is actually a Black brand out of Suffolk, Virginia.
What?
Okay. Yeah, by a guy named Rico.
Okay.
And because he's a guy named Rico that has a business called For Moss. He has a school and a shop out there in Suffolk. And so he reached out to me maybe about a year ago with the idea of, hey, let's do a collab. And I was like, hell yeah, why not?
Yeah. So
we're planning, we're getting things together. COVID hits. Our clippers that we've been designing is overseas.
Okay.
So it gets held up until maybe about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different things we had to go through in order to get everything rolling. Right. So they finally rolled out. And it's cool because a lot of these clipper brands are white and Asian owned. And I'm like, you know what? With the times that we're going through and everything, it's very important that we get to work with each other. And that's how we're going to build this Black dollar. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we got to get out the mentality that we don't know how to do shit right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Find the people within our community that gets the shit done and just rock with them, and everyone else is just going to have to follow that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once we start building with each other, our Black dollar is going to get better. So that's the mentality I've been having right now. Like, yo, we got to work with each other. It's cool to work with, other Black professionals. And, we'll support one another at this moment for real. Because we went through hell a lot. You already know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. That's So do we, I know you sell your products as well. So do you have more stuff on the roadmap as far as?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Right now it's just all about getting the ducks in the water. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do have a beard oil that I've been pushing for the last 3 years. Uh-huh. Majority of my clients on my page actually do wear the oil.
Okay.
It's great for shine, moisture, and growth, and people love it. I actually need to make a batch right now because it sells out of it really quick. People love to put it in their hair and their skin as well. So it's been a great brand. I do have a cleanser and conditioner that I did push out initially, and I wasn't too happy with the makeup. So I just put that on pause until I actually in love with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some things need to be just backtrack and rethink what you got to do. And that's all about, that's all we have to do. You know what I'm saying? Is continue to bounce back, be able to have the resilience to keep moving forward through your entrepreneurship and us as young Black men and women in business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. So it's a pandemic, obviously. What challenges have you seen with that? And do you go through any process with your clients? Do you have to do I don't know if you regularly had already cut with gloves, or do you do that now? Do you have to wear a mask? I mean, do you wear a mask while you're cutting, or do your clients have to wear a mask? I know it's hard, like, especially like doing facial hair and stuff. So how do you determine what you do?
At this point, we're taking a risk by stepping outside, you know?
I feel that.
And I would hope, not to sound crazy, but I hope that people will know if they're not feeling good. And I know they said there's no symptoms. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I have a thermometer, no contact one.
Yeah.
I'm constantly washing my hands, and then I'm only taking one person at a time. And if they do decide they want to lock us down again, I can't take any new clients for however long the lockdown may be, you know?
Yeah.
So right now it's just about keeping the area clean. I spray down, disinfect the chairs in between every client. Keep the windows open. I have a window here and I have a screen door, like a glass, like a steel door.
Okay.
Just keeping the area clean.
Okay.
Saging and, doing the best you can, keeping the floors clean and everything. That's all we can do. We can get sick anywhere, but
no, I definitely feel that.
I need to feel that comb in my hand. Like, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same way. I have a barber chair in my apartment downstairs, and it's, to me, it's just like, they're not all in my whole space, and I like the same as you. I sanitize my chair, but it's to go from what you're used to a drastic change. It's like you still want to be able to produce the same way you do, and and if it's a comfort thing, then you kind of just, like you said, like you can get sick by going to the grocery store or whatever. So
Right.
you said you would want to hope that if somebody not feeling good, that they would know that to stay home and not try to risk you or them. You know what I mean? So that's
Right.
that's good. And so I have two more questions for you. One is, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I really hope that I know I will actually.
You'll claim it.
I will have a franchise of shops or something like a studio suite shops,
Yeah.
I know that my brand will be in major stores like Nordstrom's or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to come to that point, and it's because of the time and work and consistency and diligence that I put toward my brand. It has to go that way by destiny and by faith and by the law of attraction. It's going to happen. I see my brand being way bigger than who I am past that. And I wanted to take people with me, show people what I do, because that's what it's all about. Passing the torch,
Yeah, and that's what's up. I like that. And the last question before I let you go, you talked about teaching. Teaching classes. What can one expect to learn from your teaching? Like, what can they get from your class? If somebody, let's say, I guess we can break it up to two questions. Somebody who's never or just getting started into barbering, to somebody who's already experienced, like, what could they learn?
You'll learn really true fundamentals, but the biggest thing I want everyone to take from, and what I feel my people that do attend my class, they get a sense of motivation and new perspective of what they're going to do. A new higher understanding about themselves and their career. And it's not always about how to cut a fade or how to make a perfect line. It's about, sometimes people just need someone to talk to because they're getting ready to quit barbering, or they're out to this, wondering why they can't survive off their craft. It might be a confidence thing. So it's a certain level of wellness I feel that I want people to get, and I think they do get from my class.
Actually, yeah, that's interesting, and that's interesting to say it that way, because I know somebody who would be feeling themselves, because like I say, your work is great, and I'm gonna definitely share your page with everybody. But
Thank you.
somebody who's really gifted would be like, oh yeah, like what you're gonna learn from me is you're gonna have the tightest fade, or your line, you're gonna have the greatest straight edge of all time. But the fact that you said, it kind of got a little bit more personalized, as far as you saying somebody might not be making the money that they want to make or something like that, and they might want to just give up because they feel like it might not be their thing, but they really do enjoy it. So that's actually really good to hear that you say that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before I let you go, is there anything you want to share or tell anything you got coming up, anything you want to promote. It's a free game. You can say as much or as little as you want.
First of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. I appreciate the invite.
Thank you for joining.
Definitely a pleasure. Man, whoever's out there, whatever career, whatever path you're going, just to stay consistent and keep the faith. That's all you can do. Like, just take it day by day. Don't look behind you. Just look forward and just stay present. Because we look too far ahead, we get too anxious. So actually just be in the moment and do your best in that moment. That's all I can say.
Much love. A personal question for me. Do you happen to have any more of your clippers left?
Actually, I do. They're online at ShesTheBarber.com.
I will purchase one myself.
Yes, please. Appreciate it, man.
No doubt. I will. As soon as we get off this call, I'm gonna purchase one.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I saw that it got sold out, and I was like, damn, I missed it.
They get sold out. They're getting close. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. As soon as we got this call, I'm gonna purchase one, show my support. Like I said, I definitely appreciate you supporting me, and I definitely will keep in contact with you, and yeah, we'll go from there. So much love to you.
Much love to you as well, man. Peace.
Peace.
All right.
And that concludes our podcast for today. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said before on my previous podcast, if you rock with me the whole way, I definitely appreciate you tuning in. We got a new podcast next week featuring my boy Deshaun. You don't want to miss it. I'm not even going to tell you the topic. I just got to be there. So without further ado, I'm your host, Thatboijerm. Until next time, peace.